Anyway, the matches had obviously every single one of them had extreme rules, but you couldn't really tell the difference because they all blended together because they all basically, except for the last one, did the same thing. The only match that didn't have furniture was the last match. The only match that didn't have outside interference was the last match. I mean, I could go on, but we will in brief chronological order. I didn't think that it could ever be boring to me to watch Gunther work. But this took it away, my guilty pleasure of wrestling these days, because in a match like this, there's no working. It's anybody can do this shit. The Donnybrook match, Gunther and Kaiser and Vinci, 2 Germans and a fucking Italian, against Sheamus and Ridge and Butch. And Sheamus and Gunther have had an excellent pay-per-view match last month and a real good TV match the night before, but now there are wooden barrels around ringside and wooden stools around ringside and an old-fashioned antique mahogany bar. And so in street fights in the territory days or in no rules matches like this, they didn't set them up to be visually ridiculous and phony. Guys used furniture that was around the ring, the timekeeper's table, the chair, the bell, fucking toolbox from under the ring, rope poles that held the, barrier ropes up, guardrail, but this is just visually ridiculous from the start. And it's all 6-way. There's no tags. There's no disqualification. There's no rules. They go 100 miles an hour. Yet it's not new, jump starting at 100 miles an hour, a grudge match. But when you have to go 20-something minutes and all 6 in the ring, and there's obviously these visually ridiculous props and shillelaghs around, then it was like a 20-minute long angle that would not end. And they're beating the shit out of each other. They barely used the ring. The furniture was the star of the match. At a point or two, people chanted, "We want tables." Butch did a moonsault off of a barrel. This is the first match. And finally, Sheamus gave Gunther a razor's edge through the announce desk and left him laying there, and they beat Vinci 1-2-3. And of course, Philadelphia loved it because they've been watching this shit for 30 years, but it was 25 minutes into the show before this was over. Everybody involved could have been hurt. And it was it just was there. It just happened. It's the same shit you see from every wrestling promotion way too often. And now they're doing every match on a show like this. Help me, Brian, explain this to me.
Well, there's not too much I could add to what you said. I agree with most of it. The crowd was hotter for this match than I thought they would be, but it was the opening match on the show. Nothing uncommon from what we see on both shows regularly. My only other thought is, and I know I'm in the minority, while the name Butch may not have been good, I enjoyed his outfit as Butch more than him dressing like, he looks like fucking Jackie Earl Haley in Breaking Away. Like he doesn't look like as badass as he did as Butch with the little cap on. I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that, but
I think you are.
He's gone back to this like sea monster look, and I don't like it. I don't think a street urchin from a Dickens novel was doing him any favors either. But so I'm not trying to just bury all this shit. I'd like to like more than I like, but I'm sorry. I've been watching, doing, loving, booking, performing, it's at all this shit for 40 years, and I just see guys out there hastening themselves into an early wheelchair for goddamn no earthly reason, because nobody gives a shit anymore, because this is not unusual.
The reason why all this shit used to get over is because it was unusual. Now it's expected and not necessarily welcomed.